All right, today we're tackling one of the biggest, most fundamental ideas in all of biology. It's all about how life, well, how it keeps going on. Let's dive in.
Think about it for a second. Every single living thing, right, from a tiny little microbe to a massive blue whale, everything has an expiration date. So, how come life itself doesn't just, stop? What's the secret?
Well, the answer, of course, is reproduction. It's like nature's master plan. This is the biological process where organisms make new versions of themselves, basically passing the torch of life on to the next generation. Okay, so it's not just about making more stuff. It's way more than just hitting the copy button. Reproduction has this really deep, super critical purpose for literally every species out there. When you boil it all down, it's doing three main jobs. First off, it makes sure a species can keep going, even when individual members don't. Second, it's how the genetic blueprint, DNA, gets passed along. And third, it's what keeps that huge, unbroken chain of life on Earth from ever snapping. And nature is incredibly creative. It didn't just come up with one way to get this done. Nope. When you look at the big picture, there are really two main strategies that life uses to keep the show on the road. So let's put them side by side. On one hand, you've got asexual reproduction. Super simple. One parent, and the kids are basically perfect clones, genetically identical. On the other hand, there's sexual reproduction. This needs two parents, and it involves these special cells called gametes fusing together. And the result? Totally unique offspring. And believe me, that last part, it is a total game changer.
So let's take a closer look at that first strategy, asexual reproduction. The big win here? Speed and efficiency. You've got a single parent who can multiply like crazy without having to find a partner. We see this stuff everywhere in the microscopic world. An amoeba? It just splits in two. That's binary fission. Yeast? It grows a little bud that just pops off. Some algae can literally just break into pieces, and each piece grows into a whole new organism. It's simple, it's fast, and it works. Now, strategy number 2, sexual reproduction, that's a whole different ballgame. It's way more complex. You've got two parents, each chipping in genetic material with those gametes, think sperm and egg. They fuse together to create something called a zygote, which is the very first cell of a brand new individual. And here's that game changer I mentioned. By mixing up the genes from two different parents, you create genetic variation. And that variety, that's the secret sauce for evolution and adapting to change. So how does this whole complex process actually work? Well, sexual reproduction isn't just one single thing that happens. It's actually a super organized 3-part story. Think of it in 3 steps. Step 1 is pre-fertilization. This is all the prep work, right? Making the gametes, getting them in the same place at the same time. Then you have step 2, fertilization. This is the main event, the moment those gametes actually fuse. And finally, step 3 is post-fertilization. This is everything that happens after that fusion, as that one little cell starts growing and developing into a whole new organism. All right, let's zoom back out for a second. We've talked about the how and the why of reproduction. So now, let's see how this all fits into the bigger picture, that huge cycle of life and death that's happening all around us, all the time. Just look at the wild differences in how long things live. You've got a butterfly that's here for maybe a few weeks, and then you've got trees that can live for hundreds and hundreds of years. Every single one has its own clock, a set amount of time. But they all share one critical mission: pass on your genes before your time is up. It really all comes down to this one simple, powerful truth. Every organism does the same 3 things. It lives, it reproduces, and it dies. But because of that middle step, because of reproduction, life itself just keeps on rolling. And nature's playbook for this is just incredible. The sheer variety of strategies is breathtaking, and they're all perfectly tuned to their environment. You have plants that need bees or the wind to carry their pollen. You have frogs that lay thousands of eggs in the water, just playing the odds. And then you have mammals like us, who put a ton of time and energy into raising just a few offspring. So in the end, it really boils down to this one powerful idea. Reproduction isn't just some boring biological function. It's nature's absolutely brilliant answer to the problem of death. It's the mechanism that ensures the story of life never ever has to end. And that brings us to one last thing to really think about. Remember how we said sexual reproduction creates all that genetic variation? So, what does that really mean for the future? How does that help a species survive when the climate changes or when a new disease pops up? How does that fuel evolution itself? That right there is the incredible power we've been unpacking today.